There is something strangely satisfying about pulling a dedicated camera out of a pocket instead of just reaching for a phone. This little silver Sony is a reminder of a time when point-and-shoots were the kings of the vacation bag. It is incredibly compact, feeling almost like a smooth stone in the palm, which makes it the kind of device you can actually carry around all day without it feeling like a chore. Now, don't expect modern smartphone processing here. This uses a CCD sensor, which gives images a specific, slightly nostalgic look that digital purists often hunt for. It is not about clinical sharpness or enhanced HDR. It is about that raw, direct feel of capturing a moment exactly as the lens sees it. The Carl Zeiss glass is the real star of the show here. Even with a 5x optical zoom, the clarity holds up surprisingly well. It is wide enough to grab a decent landscape shot, and the zoom is just enough to get you closer to the action without needing to physically move. One of the coolest tricks this thing has is the sweep panorama mode. You just hold the shutter and pan across a scene, and it stitches everything together on the fly. It is surprisingly fun to use, though you do have to keep your hand steady to get the best results. Speaking of steady, the optical image stabilization is a lifesaver. It helps keep those shots from turning into a blurry mess, especially when the light starts to dip. Now here is the reality check. This is an older piece of tech, so the 720p video mode is definitely a relic. It is fine for quick, casual clips, but it is not going to replace a modern camera for serious content creation. The screen is also a bit small by today's standards, and you might find yourself squinting a little in bright sunlight. The Eye Auto mode is helpful for those who just want to point and click without fiddling with settings, but it can be a bit indecisive in tricky lighting. Honestly, the biggest quirk is the menu system. It is not as snappy as what we are used to now, and you might find yourself digging through a few layers to change something simple like the ISO. But there is a charm to that. It forces a slower, more deliberate approach to photography. You aren't just snapping 50 photos in a second. You are framing, waiting, and clicking. It is a tactile experience that feels missing from the endless scrolling of a touchscreen. If you are looking for a secondary camera to toss in a bag for a weekend trip, or if you just want to experiment with that classic CCD color science without spending a fortune on a vintage collector's item, this little silver box is a solid companion. It is not perfect, and it certainly shows its age, but it has a personality that most modern devices just don't bother with anymore. It is a simple, honest tool that does exactly what it says on the box, and sometimes that is more than enough.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.